with the investing, just from what you described, it sounds like you're pretty long-term oriented, which means that you've studied debt cycles. And anybody that is long-term oriented who studied debt cycles is by nature somewhat pessimistic. I've never met anyone that's not, which means that there's a natural hesitation to getting in because you know the cycle, which means you know, okay, we're close to where things are going to change, right? But then the difficulty with people that are too educated in that aspect of the economy is they'll look at the economy and they'll go, that shouldn't work. Therefore, it won't eventually. But there's that expression, the market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent. But it's very, very true. The market could stay irrational for the rest of your life. It has stayed irrational for the rest of many people's lives. So it's one of these weird things where understanding doesn't solve all of it, which is not fun for somebody with a long-term pessimistic outlook. It's very frustrating. And the last aspect of and I'm not saying like super negative or anything. I'm just saying somebody that can see what could go wrong. That's what I'm saying by pessimism. The other aspect of the pessimistic outlook is the pessimistic outlook only gets to be right once. The optimistic outlook can be right many, many, many times. And that's why there's another expression, which is it's not profitable to be a pessimist. Pessimists don't make money. That's kind of another cliche in the investment world. It's a really hard pill to swallow because the pessimism is rooted in logic, not in negativity. It's in understanding the flaws in something. So it's a good thing, not a bad thing. I'm not claiming negativity or something of that sort. It's just the pessimism comes from the logical conclusions, and humans function fantastically in dysfunction. We do incredibly well. So my thoughts there are think in terms of going, okay, well, how much risk can I tolerate? And then start tolerating some risk. And then just note the natural inclination towards the logical conclusion that it's not going to work. And then figure out, okay, what typically works? And go with the thing that typically works. And then that kind of gets you a little bit of confidence in what's going on. And then you can broaden out to having some logically optimistic conclusions that lead you to make more risky but more profitable investments. Yeah, there are people that short the market and make lots of money, but that's kind of more rare thing. If you think in a usefully optimistic perspective, like if you're like, okay, I'm going to take on optimism as like just a useful principle, then you'll spot opportunities that you wouldn't spot, and you'll see them from a different light. And the fear is that it'll make you irrational. But I'm guessing you're a highly rational person. So if you're already highly rational, then spotting more opportunities isn't a bad thing. So it's a way to get you more oriented. Because you're already highly rational, it's not as much of an issue of capping the downside. You're gonna do that. You're gonna cap your downside. You're gonna make sure that you're not in danger. You're gonna look for risk. All those things are default mode, and you know it. So instead you go, okay, what's the other part of it? What should I go look for? That's my personal opinion.